Hey, this is Clifton Fair, LMHC and Executive Coach. Welcome to Klif Notes. We will be covering a myriad of topics ranging from executive and leadership challenges, as well as our own human existence, running the gamut between being a human being as well as being a leader within organizations. Stay tuned, show up, listen, watch. We want to make sure that you capture everything that we provide on this show because it's going to help make you better.
Hey, this is Clifton Fair, and you are now watching another episode of Klif Notes. Today, we have the pleasure of interviewing and speaking with Mr. Eric Christensen. Eric is the owner and founder of CCG Technologies out in Kermit, Texas, which is an automation firm, CCG Tech. And Eric's come to join us, and we actually have come out to Kermit, Texas to join him. So we're in one of the homes that they actually stay in, which is really cool. I don't know of any other owner of a business who's actually housing their staff in order to provide them with safe spaces, as well as friendly environments that they can coalesce, come together, develop great relationships, as well as get their work done in an effective and efficient manner. So we have the pleasure of actually being here, working with Eric, and I just want to introduce him without further ado, Mr. Eric Christensen. Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Eric, I don't think the audience knows, who you are. So you got a few ideas of what you'd like to throw out there to tell them who you are?
I'm just a guy. I'm an electrical engineer by training and degree. Worked in heavy industry most of my life as an engineer and programmer. I've been doing oil field automation off and on for 40 years. We've been out here in Kermit for the last 12. It's a lot of work out here. It's a lot of fun. Stay real busy.
Y'all do have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Every time I've come out to Kermit, which is once a month for like the last 2 years, 3 years?
Something like that.
Seems long. I know. I'm sorry. I try to add to the experience, not take away. But every time I do come out here, we usually have a pretty good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thank you for that. I think you're the at the core of fun for the guys and the gals in the company.
Yeah. I don't think they'd agree.
I doubt that. I mean, we've talked to some of them while we've been here, so the team is. One of the crazy things about everything that you just said is, you really did highlight who you are as a professional, which I love, but you're also a father.
Yeah, I have a son. He's a college student, be graduating this fall.
From his undergrad, huh?
For his undergrad, yeah.
And then what? What's big plans for him?
He says he's going to graduate school, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. I tried to put him to work, but he wasn't having it.
No, he didn't. He's like, absolutely not, Dad. It's too hot. What was it, 103 today, the highest?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's a little warm for May.
I think it might even be a little warm for him, basically, based on what I know of him.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So, a proud father, a proud business owner, proud leader.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Where did all this start? So you went to school in order to become an engineer as well?
Yeah, I've got a degree in electrical engineering.
Okay, all right.
And then I went to work in the oil industry out of college, and then I bounced around a little bit, worked in high tech, and then went back to heavy industry, chemical plants, mines, oil and gas. Worked for a couple other firms, then started working for myself, and been basically working for myself for the last 20 years.
What's it taken for you to be the guy working for himself for the last 20 years? You were raising, you had a family you still take care of.
Yeah.
But you were raising your son and also trying to grow and raise a business. How did you navigate all that?
It's tough. There's sacrifices. Family has to sacrifice a little bit. You have to sacrifice a little bit. Do what you can do and just keep at it.
When you say sacrifices, I feel like a lot of people misjudge what that looks like. Are there any words for that up and coming business owner?
You have to make choices about doing things with the family or doing things for the business, and there's not enough time, or at least there wasn't for me, to be able to do everything. So, there was a lot of travel involved, and I was away from home a lot, which I regret to some extent, but then I don't because of the business experiences I got out of it. So, but I missed some family experiences along the way, and I missed some business experiences too. Just depends on, I don't know, you gotta make hard choices, and you gotta be dedicated to both. It's a lot of work.
That dedication, I'm playing through things in my head that are kind of coming to mind as it relates to the sacrifices that have to be made, when you're going out into the country or into the world in order to conquer your own space. There were times I would imagine that you didn't necessarily want to leave home, or maybe there were times you were trying to race out of the door. I don't know, but we'll come back to that. But during those times when you were in conflict, what was the messaging that you gave yourself to help your heart lock in?
Part of it was for me because I enjoyed it, but part of it was also that it was a means to provide for the family as well. And so I definitely didn't want to fail and not be able to provide. So that's kind of the motivation. There's double motivation there.
Mm-hmm. That definitely helps you overcome any of the hesitancy that you may run up against emotionally as far as leaving.
Right.
You got to go conquer. You got to go kill.
Well, I don't know about conquer and kill,
right.
But
All right, so
you got to go make
some
money.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, realistically, you look back over the time that you spent growing yourself, the company, the people around you to this place, and you really you've created something that is not a shrinking violet in the world of automation. Like, you really have developed a company that has a great reputation, stands alone within the.
Yeah, we have a good crew all around. We have an excellent office staff. We have excellent field guys. We have a good group of engineers. And I'm very, very fortunate to have all of them. Most of them are pretty dedicated to doing a good job for us and for our customers.
That goes beyond a paycheck, though. You
right.
realize that, right?
Yeah.
They really have bought into you and what you believe in and who you are as a person.
Well, I don't know about that.
Damn it, Eric. We talked about this.
I try to be a mentor to them, and I try to make sure that nobody fails, and I think that means a lot to them. I want everybody to succeed, and if they need help, we get them help, and if they need training, we train them, and we just try to make everybody the best they can be, and when they succeed, then the company succeeds, and they get better at their jobs. They move up in skill sets and pay scale, and I've got guys who've moved from $20 an hour starters to $50 an hour high-level technicians in 4 or 5 years. We give them a good opportunity, and the ones who want it take it and run with it.
As you talk, I think about that Drake song, "Started from the Bottom, Now We're Here." Mm-hmm. You ever heard that song?
No.
Well, I'll play it for you later.
Okay.
You can play it for the guys next time. When they come in the office, you can press play, and it's like their walk-in music, right there, intro. Anyway, the amazing thing about becoming the man that you are today, it did take some really prominent people or some strong people to be present in your life. I'm wondering if you had a couple of people in mind that really were significant models for you, just like you're being a role model and a mentor for these guys and gals in your company.
No one person that I can think of. I mean, of course, both my parents were, strong individuals and instilled in me some basic, core values.
Was Dad a role model?
Oh, yeah. But I mean, outside of my parents, again, that was pretty much it.
Well, I asked that question and I kind of call him out, because I I have an inkling of an idea based on our conversations of what he meant to you and what he means to you.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be able to take a moment and honor him by just kind of calling it out.
Yeah.
So Dad was that guy.
Yeah. And you know, my dad's family were all, you know, independent farmers. And so as a family, we're pretty independent. And I don't know, I just kind of fell into that.
You had a degree of autonomy that he taught you how to actually be able to stand on your own and be your own guy, not depend on others.
Yeah.
How long ago did you lose your father?
23 years.
Still miss him?
Yeah.
Like every day?
Maybe not every day, but several times a week. I still think about him.
What are you thinking about when he comes to mind?
Mainly just, you know, wish he could be here and be part of it.
I would love to be a part of that conversation, like a fly on the wall, to hear him say some things to you after, you know, witnessing where you've grown to. Mm-hmm. What would be some of the words that he could possibly give you at this point that you would imagine him saying to you?
I would imagine him telling me that he's proud of me, and he was always interested in what I had going on and what in the technical aspects as well as the business aspects. You know, he was interested, and he was fun to talk to and engaging. So I always felt appreciated, I guess is the right word.
Seen.
Yeah.
He saw you. He had an engineer's mind as well.
Yeah.
He was 4 years too early in leaving this earth, because 4 years after he passed away, you started your own company. So have you been in business 20 years and he passed away 24 years ago?
I was in business before too.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just this time.
This time around, yeah.
So he did see me in business.
Was he like flabbergasted with just how much responsibility you were able to carry?
No.
No?
No.
He kind of expected it?
He had some pretty heavy responsibility jobs in his career as well.
Like what?
He worked in paper mills most of his life, but he was always a high-level manager, so he had a lot of responsibility.
What are some of those skills or the skill sets that he actually possessed as a high-level manager that you've roped right into?
I think organizational skills, probably the key thing that I got from him.
What about his mentoring? Have you used some of his techniques or his approach to mentoring and developing?
Well, probably. I didn't really thought about it, but yeah, he had a real hands-on approach. It's kind of the way I am too.
You're not responsible for, you know, working with your sister and your brother to keep an eye on Mom.
Yeah.
And she's here with us. And
she's here in Kermit, yep.
And she's spicy and sassy.
Yeah. That's one way to put it.
Yeah. Is she able to kind of like give you some reinforcement as well? Not that you need it. I mean, you sound like you pretty much got it under control.
She worries that she's a burden to me, but I keep reassuring her she's not. But she's fun to have around.
Mom gets a chance to witness you being successful, and she doesn't want to get in the way of that.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, having her around, I wonder if you get a chance to actually tell her how good it feels to be able to share some of this with her during this time in her life, because this is like latter years. How old is she?
She's 89.
So she's about to turn 90.
Yeah, just about.
So I wonder if she actually can hear how much appreciation you have for her being able to not only witness it, but be a part of it.
I don't know. I think she's too concerned about being in the way to really appreciate it, but I'm not sure.
Well, I'm thinking of homework assignments for you, by the way.
Oh yeah, okay, that's what I need. I need some homework.
Yeah, absolutely, because you know you have all this extra time.
Yeah, and
well, yeah, it'll be like quality moments with Mom.
Oh, all right.
So maybe not homework. Carrying a very strong legacy of your father, as far as being an autonomous man, being a provider, working to support and watch over and take care of Mom along with your siblings, and also be a good model for your son as well as those people that are around you. What does Eric do in order to kind of keep himself together with all these things that he's responsible for?
I don't know. I just really, most of the time, enjoy the work. It's kind of like playing to me. But, you know, I take a fishing trip here and there, and go visit family and take time out to relax a little bit.
Is there something that that you would want to make sure you experience with your son and your mom during this time that maybe you're kind of putting off?
Not really.
Okay.
I wish he'd come visit us more often, but
I think that message could be delivered. I'll see what I can do to support you getting that message over to him. Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see him this weekend.
Okay, that'd be a nice treat.
Yeah.
Tell me what you've been kind of wrestling with for yourself as you kind of look down the road for the oncoming chapters.
A lot of the business relationships that we have are ones that I developed a long time ago. I mean, it's a constant evolving thing. People change and people turn over, and so the business relationships are always evolving. But I think the biggest, one of the biggest challenges as far as my being able to eventually retire and the business continue on is to get people in place that will be able to continue those kinds of relationships and develop new ones. So that's one of the big challenges. The other one is just getting the infrastructure built within the company so that things will continue without my intervention. And we're working on it. We're slowly getting there. In the past, we just did whatever needed to be done to get things built and get projects started, and now we're starting to develop real procedures and have defined roles and make things repeatable. So there's still some challenges that I'm not, necessarily used to dealing with. I'm more used to dealing with technical challenges rather than organizational and relationship challenges.
Mm-hmm. As you pivot and you start taking on some of these new challenges in order to grow both yourself and the company to a new place, what are some things that you're relying on, or some resources, some people that you're relying on in order to make that possible?
Well, using your expertise for some of it. I have some key staff members who we're working on developing and getting them to develop more people under them. I'm very lucky with several staff members that just kind of magically appeared at the right time. I don't know what I did to make that happen, but
you moved through several who have been for shit, right?
Well, yeah, there was a trail of leftovers, yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's just put it that way, yeah.
Absolutely.
But I always said it was a 10-to-1 ratio.
Out of every
one
10,
out of every 10.
Yeah, you get one winner.
Yeah.
Oh, that's been a lot. There's been a lot of those 10 batches of 10 too.
No, it wasn't quite that bad. But,
no.
But yeah, not everybody's cut out to be a manager or everybody's got different skill sets, and
that's true.
Got to find what they're good at.
You've been able to work through some of those ups and downs with talent, finding talent, developing talent, and you worked through that while you were still trying to carve a path for your organization when at some point in time within the past 3 years?
The last 3 years, probably, yeah.
It's like about 3 years ago, you were about to close the doors.
We were thinking about it, or I was thinking about it.
You were thinking about it heavily.
Yeah. Business climate changed a little bit. And I got some key people in place. And
I really feel like you're being super modest.
Yeah,
Well, I'm gonna say this. Like, when we as people face adversity, we have few different ways that we can manage that. We can shut down, we can quit, or we can freeze and just get stuck in it, right? Paralyzed. And that was that paralysis by analysis.
Uh-huh.
There was a moment that it's like a come to Jesus moment where you reach inside of yourself and you pull out one more shred of something.
Yeah.
What was that moment?
I had this engineer that I had hired, and he was kind of a fish out of water. He was a good engineer, but he didn't fit the oil field very well. He was from a different, more structured environment. And when things turned around, he decided to leave and go back to what he was used to. And he said to me on his way out the door one day, he said, "You've really built something here, and you shouldn't let it die." He said, "This is your legacy, and you need to make sure it continues. That kind of hit me, so I just started working at it.
You know, you and I both know what it took for you to get to this place and what you had to overcome then when you were contemplating closing the doors. Like, there were times when there was nothing left in the tank or the coffers.
There's been times, yeah. Yeah, we went through a pretty rough time in 2008 when that big housing crisis hit and everything kind of folded under, and we were inches from shutting it down, and I picked up a couple of clients, and we made it through that, and then we started doing the oil field work, and it turned around, and we kept going. But yeah, we were pretty close to shutting down more than once. So I don't know. You just keep plugging along, I guess.
You know, when people speak about intestinal fortitude, I think I'm looking at a fine example of it.
I am not one to give up easy.
I think that shows in the product you produce as well as the people you manage.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, we've had our ups and downs. The last 3 years have been pretty good, though. We've been pretty steady on the upward growth curve. So see if we can keep doing that.
You know, I asked you a question earlier today, and I'm going to ask it to you again in a different way. When you're no longer here, right, and CCG Tech is still rocking and rolling, they're quadruple the size and doing, 10x power the business that you're currently doing, right? What do you want them to remember you saying to them when times get tough?
Don't quit doing a good job and just keep working at it. That's all you can do.
When your son can no longer hear your voice and he's facing life alone and dad's not here anymore, what do you want him to remember that you remember of your dad? What words do you want him to remember of you?
Don't give up. It's not easy, but don't give up.
Real simple, real to the point.
Yeah.
I think he hears that somewhere so that he's taking the world of psychology head on.
Yeah.
Got a little researcher and a clinician coming up behind you.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Is there something that the audience may want to hear from you before we close out? One last thing.
Find something that you like and you're good at and do it.
We'll take it. You heard it here, folks. This has been another episode of Klif Notes. Thank you again for watching, and we thank Mr. Eric Christensen of CCG Tech and all that they're doing for the oil field out in West Texas. Oh, and in New Mexico. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.